From timid and shy to beautifully courageous, taking control of her life and teaching others to do the same. As I was reflecting on my Dalai Lama fellowship experience, these lines of poetry came to me as a summary of how I grew. So now I would like to tell you about what this means and how it happened. In the beginning of my fellowship year, I practiced a lot of reflection and self awareness that helped me see that I was very timid and shy and I had low self esteem. I lacked the confidence to make difficult decisions, especially in times of uncertainty, and I pretty much constantly beat myself up and poked holes in any good work I had done. I quite remember one of the first events my team members and I held, which involved interacting with market women and girls in Accra. We interacted with them on their sexual and reproductive health issues and needs during the pandemic, and we donated menstrual cloth pads, hand sanitizers, and even face masks to these wonderful souls. As we planned the event, I would get worked up and anxious if even something little did not go as planned. I knew I was new to all this, but that did not stop me from feeling like everything had to be perfect or I as a person had failed. There was so much going on, the venue being smaller than I expected, my team members sometimes failing to cooperate. Despite all these challenges, we were still able to put on a great event. However, I just could not shake off the feeling of failure, even when my team member told me that we had done an awesome job that day. He told me to look at all the amazing things we had done and all the setbacks we had overcome on that day. But I still could not see that because I was hyper focused on the things that did not go according to plan, and so I thought myself a failure. Nevertheless, I kept studying the Dalai Lama Fellowship curriculum and meeting my coach regularly, and little traces of change began to happen. Through my daily meditation, I was able to pause and reflect on the painful stories I told myself. Was I really not good enough? Or could it be that I was a magnificent person who strived to do better and showed up to the best of her ability? I also added a gratitude journal to my morning routine, coupled with my contemplative practice. The gratitude journaling helped me to focus on the positives rather than the negatives, both in what was happening in my life and in my personal qualities, in the description of my personal qualities as well. Through this practice, my morning anxiety and depression dropped, and I no longer felt that I had to run away from my own self. I also remember taking a test on my top five strengths as an individual and how it opened my understanding into why I chose the project for my Dalai Lama fellowship. I was helping women gain freedom and equality by enabling them to see their value and worth. I was teaching them to care for their bodies, take care about their sexual and reproductive health issues. Through my own journey of transformation, of claiming my freedom to choose and be who I want to be, I'm able to help other young women to do the same. I also strengthened the relationship between my project teammates when I began to devise strategies to get to know each other better and move beyond just transactional conversations. For example, I set up this weekly interaction session called the hot seat that enabled us to ask each other get to know you questions. And from that practice, we got to understand each other in a deeper way and could relate with ourselves better during the projects we undertook. Now, the most outstanding transformation, the point where I felt that everything I had learned in the Dalai Lama Fellowship had come together, was when my teammates and I held a conference for girls in a particular school. Unlike the previous time, I just felt relaxed and in control. My self esteem had improved and I was less timid and shy. Due to the building of stronger bonds and my teammates, event, with my teammates through non transactional communication. We were in sync, and the organization of the event was smoother than at first. We had the intention of showing up to support these girls to the best of our ability, but we did not have a rigid outcome for how we wanted things to turn out that day. I really listened to these girls when I spoke to them, and I let them direct me as to how they wanted the program to go for that day. It was just so touching to be able to thoroughly absorb their stories of struggles and how they still showed up today for themselves despite the gender disparities that they continue to face. Looking back to who I was in 2020, I can say that if an old friend met me today, they would not be able to recognize me. So many old parts of me are gone, and now the new characteristics that I embody make me a better person and a better leader. All thanks to the Dalai Lama Fellowship. Indeed, I am now beautifully courageous, taking control of my life and teaching others to do the same. For that, I am truly grateful. Thank you.